Hi guys, Retro Tech Ralph here. Right, I've got my Spectrum out. This is the one I've made back, put the motherboard back into. Now if you remember from the last time I took this out, it was a little bit in pieces. So at the moment, well actually it wasn't in pieces, well it is in pieces now to be honest, but what we actually found last time is the screen was black with these dotted lines all the way down the screen. It looked like there were... We actually have a word with Chris, actually speaking to him at the moment, but he's actually thinking that there might be a RAM fault on here, the lower RAM fault. Now I've already got the recapping kit to fit on this anyway, that's arrived. But there's the mod part on here for the DC to DC, yeah, figuring these things out, which... it's fine, it works, but that one's replacing well. I don't have the capacitors for that. But there's also, I've got this cable here, it's a 3.5mm audio jack into the earplugs to two of these phono connectors. So I've actually got the computer in front of me, and that's on the TV. The volume up on there. So I've got Elite at the moment. I'm just currently shooting the space station to get a reaction from them. So it's actually, I'm getting a mono signal, left hand only, in the TV. Which the socket on the back of here is mono anyway. I wonder if I could fit a stereo socket on the back of there. So all I need, because I wanted to put the composite mod on here, is one socket on there for that, and then, well, I can use that because that's actually coming with my TV. Because it's to do with, well, the new TV for the Samsung has got these 3.5mm to phono connectors on the back of it. I thought it might actually work, and it does. It works absolutely spot on, to be honest. So technically I don't really need to do anything apart from maybe put a splitter on one of these, because one of these doesn't work. If I take the red out, it works. Take the white, well, the blue out, I'm back on the speaker on here, which, to be honest, the sound is shockingly bad. So it's only the blue one which is giving any audio out on that side, but for some reason it's turned and now on the TV only doing like this, only left hand side. I could split this easily into both of these. I've got a connector that I can easily, very easily do that with. But I'm kind of thinking, oh no, I'd love to be able to put a stereo socket on here, so I don't have to faff with anything else. I'd like to just be able to get everything. Similar with the Atari that I did. Everything just plugs straight in with the three cables, with the composite. Yeah, I'll get it. But at present, this is all working. The Div MMC from Future was 8 bits working perfectly. The video, I've got it coming through Jan Beta's custom composite. It's not perfect, and I have got a kit coming for that, but I'm just waiting parts at the second. I have got, like I said, I have got a voltage regulator to fit. I have got a standard capping kit, but it's missing a few others, so I think I'm going to reorder another one for a lot cheaper, and maybe a couple of RAM chips, and get back to this later in the week. So maybe even for next weekend's, well, me thinking now, next weekend's project. So at present it's working fine. So what I'm going to do, get on eBay, get on the internet, and then I'm going to get some parts ordered and get this fixed and running. Like I said, at the moment it's perfect. I think I've just yeah. So I just pressed that and it installed the game. But it's running absolutely spot on. So possibly maybe a RAM fault, maybe not. So I'm going to get some RAM chips ordered and see what's what. So I'll get back to you as soon as I get that. Right, quick update on the Spectrum. It's been a day. The Spectrum is fully cooled, fully whatever, left it, powered off. I did, if I'm not sure if I actually did soak test. I did a test yesterday on the board. For some reason it's working, but then I think Chris had said he wanted to, yeah, could I just do some tests on it, and I have done. And it passed absolutely everything. Test program on the Future was 8-bit card. Works absolutely spot on. So he said leave it for a day, and we'll see if it works. Well, now. So left it, and it's working absolutely spot on. So I don't know what the fault was with either the RAM or I don't know. It'll have to just find itself when it comes out, and then I'll have to sort out issues later. But at the minute, we're obviously waiting for parts now to arrive. I can put that on because I've got one of these, so I can at least start with that. Yeah, I might have a little tinker while I'm waiting because I have got the, like I said, I've got the other kit here, which I'm not exactly sure which of these goes where. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different lots. So possibly there's the right ones for all of these, including these. Well, I want that, but I want some resistor on there as well, which I don't know whether I have or not. I might have, but I've also got the mod for that. So I'm gonna tinker a little bit. I'll definitely do that one, because that's there. That's from DataServe on eBay. So yeah, hopefully when you see this next, I'll have either all the caps out, or we'll be in the process of doing the caps. Right, a lot of work done. What I've actually, you can see on the board there, I've recapped everything, including the DC-DC bit. I've not put any resistor on there, but when the other kit comes, I might consider doing that. But I think the resistor might be fine. Cap there. Cap over here as well. That's a tricky one. You don't really know it's there. So a little handful of caps. Nothing major. A lot less than what the Plus, or the Plus 2 was. But all in the right place. There's a... Always watch out over here. It's C46, is it? The board has got wrong markings on it. It's a design fault. The Plus is not. So just swap them round. I actually checked on the capacitor when I took this one out, with the other one out, it was right the other way around. I actually ripped out as well the trace a bit too, yeah, too heavy-handed, but I've managed to wire that back in again. Whether it's used or not, I don't know. That's why that little green wire is there. Also, you might notice the ULA chip is now surface mounted. It's not put onto a chip holder like that one. That's because I'm getting a heat sink that'll go on top of there, because that gets quite warm, and I think it's a very good mod to do that. But yeah, so far everything's going quite well, and all I'm waiting for is a few parts, and we can get back to this as soon as. So I'll tidy up and wait for the parts to come, which hopefully shouldn't be very long at all. And the next day, delivery came from Retroleum. As I say, I've done enough to this board now, I think, but I didn't wait for the Retroleum. The cap kits come from them. Although there are, what's a good thing about this with the cap kit from them is not only does it have issue 2 extras, which they were probably before the DC to DC converter, and they do the composite mod parts there, so that's going over here to get rid of that. And there's a full bag of caps there for the whole job lot. So when I get another Spectrum in, I've got a cap kit already ready for it. So that's not a problem there. I also ordered a heatsink to go on top of the ULA. So I'll fit that last. So I want to see whether or not, I'm not entirely sure if I think that resistor there wants replacing for this one over here. So I've already done the cap, but there's 3 in there, so I don't know why there's 3. So I need to read into exactly what the situation is with it, and then get on with the composite mod. Oh, there's 2 diodes and a capacitor. I thought there was a resistor one between the power and the output on that. Well, I'll read into it, see what I need to do. But I definitely don't want to be able to use coax anymore. But I've actually figured out if you use coax, well, use this as, because this cable is like a Yan Beta composite mod. You put the centre part of the phono socket to the power lead there, and then ground to the chassis of that, which does actually work. But I don't think it's absolutely spot on, but it does work as a composite mod for this. Just bypasses your signal there. But to get that done, yeah, fine. But what I figured out is you can use, I'm sure I figured this out before when I had a Spectrum when I was a lot younger, that is your earphone socket. Yes, the microphone goes in so it can go to the tape deck and save. Earphone comes in so it can, all the way around. But one can detect, one it can transmit sound out to either save your games or load your games. But it does do the audio as well. So that's just a standard mono socket. I wouldn't mind upgrading to a stereo, but I'll keep it as is. I've got other ways to upgrade that to stereo for the TV. But that's an audio out. So, video out, audio out. Mono, granted, but you can split that off afterwards anyway. So that's what I'll be doing. Is seeing if I need to change that. Get the composite mod on there, and the heatsink on the ULA chip. And then hopefully this should all work. Right, capping is now complete. What I've done on a second cap kit, I've put the different capacitor there on the DC-DC converter. I've also put higher temp capacitors on these 2 as well, because they're next to the heatsink. Theoretically you don't need a heatsink, but no, I'm going to keep that as it is. But it'll be fine, it'll work okay. It should work okay. Change that resistor there, see the blue one? That one's changed, that's a bit bigger resistor, so that should help no end. Now I want to tackle the RF mod, the composite mod. So let's get on with that. There we go, composite mod done. Now what they suggest you do is 2 wires here, you unsolder them, bend the wires back over, take the resistor off of the center point for the socket and unsolder that and just leave it inside. As long as it's not touching anything, it shouldn't actually matter, but if these are your power anyway, as long as they're off, it shouldn't really short anything anyway. A lot of people, and I know I'm hearing a few in my ear at the moment, say remove this completely, but I want that socket, I want it to be solid, so it's solid in place. I could have done a standard socket on there, but I'm trying to get it so it's original as possible, and you can backdate this, you can easily unmod this. Now what he has is 3 separate ways of doing this. One, you take a wire from the center point of this to this first connection there on the board, which is actually the middle part of this transistor, right? The second one is put a capacitor, which is why in the Retrolium kit they have a capacitor that goes from the center point of there through here into the center of there, of the connector. Earth still gives you earth anyway, so that's not a problem. Or the third one is a transistor. You put, actually for some reason I've got 2 in here. So that means I can actually do 3 composite mods on 3 different spectrums, but we'll give them another date anyway. You put it so the flat side is facing the chassis. The center point of the transistor goes in this top one where the power, is it the power of the earth? With a base. The collector goes over here to the right hand side as we're looking at it now. So that's what this running across there is. And this left hand side one, the emitter, goes up, and the pin will not be long enough to go into the center point of the connector anyway, so you just run it off there, and the extra bit of wire goes off inside and goes into the center there. Now I'm going to test this. Actually, I'm going to see if that will fit back over there again, the extra cables there, which it should do. Yeah, as it goes, and the gaps there anyway, so that's not bad at all. So I'm still trying to keep it as original as possible in case I ever do anything with this, backdate it or anything. So it's not bad. It's not bad so far. Now what I need to do is test it, see if it actually works. Now, yeah, there's a good chance this won't work, but there's also a very good chance that it will. Oh, actually, while I'm here, the reason why I used the ULA chip, took it out of its socket, is to put this on as a heatsink, because they get warm a little bit. So that on top of there, it's a little bit bigger than the chip. Let me get you in a little bit. Tight in. It's a little bit wider than the chip, but I think I'll try and mount it so it's not touching this resistor. Do a little bit off from there, but it'll still fan off quite well. It even gives you a wet wipe. Not that I need these sort of things in here, but there we go. Just keep it nice and clean so it'll adhere pretty well. Alcohol wipe, getting a bit messy on the desk here. It's already self-adhered to the back of there. Peeling it off in focus would be good. That's nearly dry. There you can just see it going. Gone. So if I put it there, I'm on level there, a little bit off, I think. A bit of pressure on there, nothing much. Stick in place, wobble it around a little bit, make sure it's in place. Done. Well, that's a nice, easy mod to do. Now I'm actually missing my heatsink. I also need to figure out where I put. Yeah, this pot. I have pots for everything. Let me get you wider a second. I don't have any thermal compound that's I was the MX4. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit on here and smear it around. It just gives you a better connection between the power regulator and anything else. So I don't need much, to be honest. This is far too much. There's usually a white sort of stuff on these anyway. A white compound. But it doesn't matter what type you use. I've put way too much on there, haven't I? Oh. Need to keep a track on where this stuff is. Otherwise I'm going to cover everything in it and short it all out. It's liquid silver, isn't it? Okay. Okay, that's fine. I'll clean up some more on there. It's definitely underneath. Just put way too much on. So let me get this screwed in place, cleaned off as well, and we'll test this and see if it works. Back with the Spectrum again. Right, I have got some major problems. The if you notice, I've taken the heatsink off the ULA chip. My problem is as follows. I have broken at least two of the wiring on here. So I've got a patch cable between there and there to fit there and there. But I might have also knackered the ULA chip. I'm not sure if I have or not. So what I've done is I've unsoldered the ULA, completely abandoned the idea of the heatsink. Can use that on something else possibly. They fit on top of Commodores rather well anyway, so I might upgrade the C64 a little bit. But yeah, ULA is back off again. I have got a new holder, 20 pins either side. I'm going to re-put this back in and solder it back in place, because if there is major problems with the ULA, I'll have to buy something that's called a Nebula chip, which is the best solution to a crap ULA. It's not going as easy as I thought. See, when I put the original one in to start with, I bent the chip as well, so something's not lined up there. So we're going back to original specs. Hey, bent. Better. Let me check in there if there's any hole. They're all free. I think, to be honest, I have definitely pulled. You can see, let me get you in. Tighter, tighter, tighter. Right, number 3 on the left hand side there. That's definitely gone. So I'll branch off between. I mean, if I can do on the top bit, I will do, but there's definitely. I've broken inside of here. Oh, come on, number 6. The inside of it, when I pulled the chip back out after it didn't work properly because number 3 is broken, it pulled the entire trace out from what goes through the board. So I've got to run from the back as well. Where are we? There. That's upside down. So the top one is number 6, the bottom one is number 3. I'll assume it's not that numbers, but for me, that's 3, that's 6. So just need to wire up these when the IC chip holder is in place. Now I don't know why, but I can't get this actually in place properly. They're only cheap, these, anyway. Well, something's not lined up right. There is also, like a dumbass, come down one. There is also the problem that might be a RAM fault. Chrissy is convinced there's a RAM fault, and I'm kind of going towards that idea. But you give me a website, if I've got it on there, how to. Oh, it's part of Spectrum for everyone. Righty ho, soldering is now done. So you can see there, I've got the, where are we, tying in the 2 bridges across, and the soldering is complete along the full length. Like I say, it's broken on the opposite side, but that's what they do join towards, and I can't get underneath to get a flush connection underneath with the socket being there. But this is the best option, I think. I think having the we're about to put the chip on top, then having the heatsink on top of the ULA, I don't think is a good idea, because I'm just not that. I am, but I'm not. I'm just, something's not right, and I wasn't confident enough to put this in place, do the bits across, and it still work. I had problems with this, and it was once the whole thing was in place with the traces broken. It how can I say? What can I say? It did work, but it went very, very funny. The display was absolutely chaotic. It had the Future Was 8-bit card on the back, the Div MMC on the back, you could see it, and if you knew what the DivMC screen looked like, it was fine. You knew what it was, but there was such a disjointed image sort of flickering all over the screen for it. Also on the boot part of the original, of the proper Spectrum, it was a black bar where the text should be. You could barely see some sort of letters. It was just mishmashed. So I kind of think that might have been down to the two tracers gone. But I wasn't confident enough to resolder this chip back in because it's a pain in the arse. Oh, okay. There's 40 pins there to solder in, and if it was wrong, I've got 40 pins again. Sorry, I unsoldered 40 pins from the original chip holder. I unsoldered 40 pins on the IR chip, so it would have been 120 pins in total to unsolder, just to see if it worked. And if it worked, fine, the heatsink would have gone on top, but the amount of work that this Spectrum is not going to do, there is no point. So what I need to do now is get this in place. It seems to go in one side but not the other. Maybe the pins are bent out a little bit. I don't want to bend any over again, so they might want to go in a little tiny bit. So if you're going to do this, be bloody careful. I don't relish the idea of this ULA chip. I know there's better alternatives out there, but at the minute it's going to have to do, because the guy who does the Nebula chips hasn't got any available at the moment, which is fine. He's got things he needs to do, live his life and stuff. That's not a problem at all. And if this does work, I need that chip holder back on here. There we go. That's gone back in place. Tight you in. See if I can get it in better. Oh, I've got a hair on my arm. Excuse me. No. One of the missus's hairs. Right, that's been off track. Right, I want to make sure that this goes in without bending any chips. Sorry if you're a little bit out of focus, but I bent one chip last time doing this. That's quite tight, really tight. Right, let's have a look. I'm using the just camera itself to make sure that they're all straight and all in. They look okay to me. It was kind of the middle on this side that I'd kind of bent. It's a good chance that I've broke this, so there will be a Nebula chip board being ordered soon, but that don't look too bad to me. I'm going to get that pushed down. Better. So hopefully they're all in place. Now let's get on with testing this, see if it works or whether or not that's coming back out again, and Chris is going to have to test it. Hopefully he doesn't have to. Hopefully there's no work. Right, we're all ready. Power's in but not on. I have my because this does work as an earphone socket. I don't know if it's just for the 2A board or issue 2 board. I think we're with Chrissy, and his board doesn't do this for some reason. That is an audio output as well as, well, it's an earphone socket, so it'll be for saving data to a data recorder, a tape recorder. But it does actually work as an earphone socket, and the sound's absolutely perfect on there. But it's a mono socket, which that's a mono socket going to both of these. It's not stereo, it's double mono, shall we say. But that doesn't matter. It's on, it gives me an audio input into the TV. Very, very easy. I got 6 of these for £2, which is a bit weird because you couldn't buy one. So, and then I've already done my composite mod there. So we should have a screen and we should have sound coming through there. I'm delaying this. Right, ready for the click? Turn the switch on. Go. Oh! Da, 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 da. Chrissy, I don't think you need it. That picture is amazing. I have no keyboard on here, but let's get the keyboard plugged in. Turning power off. Bear with me a second. Now I kind of thought I'd balls this up, but it hasn't. Right, my keyboard's in place. Power is now on again. Goes black, goes straight in. It's so awkward trying to get used to the old keyboard back again. Input. I am amazing. Retro Tech. I pressed enter. No variable found. That picture, you know, for on here, I'm actually really impressed with the picture. That is absolutely, that is brilliant. There was some sort of wiggly line that yeah, I know. That's fine. But this TV is coming out with all the sounds. The keyboard's on, the computer's working. Can't get RetroTech Ralph in the top corner of the screen, but hey ho. But that's it. Now let me get this back together again. Switch off and put this together and see if she still works. I think we're actually done. Are we done? You might be done here. So this is the end part of downgrading. Oh, it's so tight, that one. I don't know if that plastic's meant to be on there or not. But plastic is really thick. It's thick as that one, but it doesn't seem to be having any problems with it. So this is the end part of, yeah, downgrading the Spectrum. That ULA seems to work alright. I can't put the heatsink on top of it because the case will not fit. I know it won't fit. I've been told it won't fit. I haven't tried to see if it won't fit, but I trust certain people doing certain things and it doesn't fit. So I'm not even going to try it. So there's less modification on here apart from the cap kit doing everything. The DC-DC converters there again, the upgraded heat capacitors, because obviously these are below, they'll go to 105 degrees, more than these going up to I think 90. But there is an issue with that if you have the next to the heatsink, that technically you don't really need the heatsink, but I'm leaving it there because it's going to stay there. So all in all, everything seems to have gone rather well so far, and the cabling underneath for the patching I am quite happy with. Well, I'm not happy with, but happy enough. Right, let me get this back together and see if she still works. Everything is back together. My soldering iron's over there for some reason. Right. Green light, if you can tell, is on. The Futures 8-bit card is on the screen. This is working absolutely stunning. I've done some testing. I've gone through the test program Chris has gave me. It's not made by Chris, it's somebody else, but Chris has been an absolute massive help on this. And yeah, I mean, I kind of do know what I'm doing, but I don't at the same time. But like I say on a few of my videos, is I am just a regular, average, everyday person who, I'm not an electronics expert, I'm not a computer expert, but if I can do this, so can you. So get on with it, do something like this. It's back together, it's absolutely brilliant. The cable there for splitting the audio out of the earphone socket works absolutely perfect. The Futures 8-bit card is in. The composite mod is on. And it's absolutely brilliant. So what I'm going to do is put a game on. Let's go down enter. I do like playing with the rubber keys. Something with it. Down a page. Now, I've just played Manic Miner, and through the TV, that's absolutely ridiculous. Down, see the arrow keys are there. Up, down, left, right. It's so bad to use. Manic M. What have I got? Manic C, Manic B? Was it for a BBC B? Spectrum B, Spectrum C? I don't know. But no, it weren't. Right, you ready on this? Oh, God! That's great! It's figuring out which button does what is the problem. And how to lock off my camera. I need a better solution to lock off the camera than what I've got. It's constant through there, the music. There's got to be a copyright strike on this. I did this wrong last time. Oh, balls. The picture is absolutely spot on. For what this is, it's not HD quality, if you can hear me. It's as good as it's going to get, I think. Wind up dog. Oh no. I think I get it then. Right, so I need to go there. Get that one. No. So you see, it's absolutely, it's working perfectly. Absolutely stunning. I'm glad I didn't kill the ULA chip. That would have been a little bit of a yeah, a bit of a, shall we say, bummer. I don't know, but I'm so happy with that. It's ridiculous. The plane goes over the head, if you can hear it. I'm so happy I've got a Spectrum, a rubber keyed Spectrum at that. I mean, I've obviously got my other original, well, that's the original, but the Plus 2, which works perfect. That keyboard does feel a lot better, but there's nothing like the feel of fleshy rubber under your hands. I mean, with this one at least, I use the RGB. I haven't done a composite mod. I don't care about a composite mod on this one. I'm going to use the RGB cable, which goes to composite, if you've seen the last videos, because that goes one from there, goes off the TV for the video, and then goes round to the audio, which then audio will go into and then out of. But that's how that works. Reset button on the side. I could actually, because I have got the reset button from the upgrade kit with the Spectrum. I could actually fit one onto here, but that's where I went wrong twice before, because I have upgraded 2 of these in the past, and they're not with us now. So what I'm going to do is, this is going to get put in bubble wrap, because the case is absolutely mint. I know the board has got 3 traces cut on it, and I have repaired it and it's working perfect, and I'm so happy I can do that. But there we go. Oh, I'm really happy now. Really, really happy. I have got, so my Spectrum collection now is an original. This is the original 48K with this original board back into it. I have the upgrade kit as a box. Actually, I need the box for it, because it's in polystyrene, but that doesn't matter. I have, actually I've got the box for this, so that's where that's going to go, not in bubble wrap, it's going to go back in its original box. I have Plus 2, I don't have a standard Plus, which I'd like to do a full collection of these. I have a standard Plus, as well as the upgrade kit, so I'm not going to upgrade that upgrade kit with a board. I've want a toast rack, a 128. I want a +2 in black. I want a +3 as well. And God help me if I get a QL, because I do not know where to get the funds for that. If I do you couldn't do what do you call it, a Kickstarter, just to fund me buying something on eBay. No. If something ever comes my way, fine. I never expected this and the rest of the Spectrum find to actually come my way, but I'm really happy with this. This is a mammoth task which has gone bad, good, bad, oops, broken, mended, fixed, thumbs up, and I'm leaving it, and it's done. So that's going to go back in its box. It's going to do now, actually, before the end of the video. So I'm going to put this back in its box, as it should be, and it's going to be there pristine for quite a while now. Oh, the box is back out again. It's amazing. That is just, it's not strained at all, but it's a book. Whoop-de-doo. So that can go into there. Original power supply works perfect. Audio lead, TV lead, which now I don't need, but hey ho, leave it in there. Spectrum goes on top. The book goes on there. The book doesn't go on there. It goes on there. Spectrum on top. Cardboard case. Cardboard case. Polystyrene case, you muppet. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now watching somebody put a piece of polystyrene inside a cardboard box. I might do something about these parts, because they're a little bit frayed. I might try and get this back to its original, that sort of standard. I've heard somewhere that if you put some glue in it and you put it under an iron, that you can redo frayed parts of cardboard, but I don't know. It's not bad as it is. That side's a little bit iffy, but that's probably the end that it did. He opened. Yeah, I might do something, might not. Gives it a bit of strength back in the cardboard before it completely dies on me. There you go. That's my ZX Spectrum. Completed, done, back where it originally was. So that's the end of this project. To be honest, it took a while, but I want to thank for this. I'd like to thank Chrissy majorly for helping me out with this. I'd like to thank, there's a couple of eBay guys. There's Retroleum for the, not from the eBay, for the website, for the parts bought. Nothing's been donated, nothing apart from the Spectrum. Nothing's been, everything's been bought. Retroleum, if you want any parts for anything, go on there. I think there's Retro Revival as well. I've got his card over here as well anyway, so if you want to, Retro Revival, some parts and hardware and stuff like that, I've got some parts from him. ZX Wife as well, she's helped me along the line as well, because I got the part problems with the, well, there weren't problems, there were updates that Spectrum themselves have put on there. So she gave me advice on exactly what they were, what updates they were. But again, thanks to everybody. Massive thanks, Chrissy. Didn't fully need it for the ULA testing. It is working, and I'm happy with where it is now. So, all being well, everything's thumbs up. So, end spiel. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, I've got tons of videos on the channel. If you want to donate anything, if you want to donate Spectrum like somebody did for me, please get in touch. If you want to be a Patreon to put some money into the some cash into the kitty to help me out getting stuff like this. Not like this, not like this. This is what Jamie gave me, and help the channel along. I've been going on for quite a while now, so you know what I'm doing. But other than that, thanks for watching. I'm on social media, usually the main ones: Facebook, Twitter. Is it Pinterest? Yeah, and something else, I don't know, but links are below. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. If you've stuck this long, thank you very much for watching. and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye for now.